You gotta play.
From every strand on the line of your reel, to the rods, to the anglers, to the lures on the end of your hook, let's talk about those big bass here on Co-Angler's Corner with your hosts, Rob Welch and John Stoudinger.
Good evening, everybody. We're getting straight into this. We have the man behind the league, the LBAA. Well, it should say the men because there's two of them. And then we have Rob. He's hiding in the background. He's embarrassed. I don't know why, but it is who it is. Yep. But we have Steve French and Travis Birch, the ownership of the LBAA, on tonight, talk about the 2024 and talk about 2025. Welcome, gentlemen.
Glad to be here.
Appreciate you having us. We're missing Craig from Anchor Point at Bull Shoals, but I'm pretty sure he's in a deer stand somewhere.
Lucky guy.
Right. I can't blame him. So, if you want to introduce yourself and tell tell the people who you are, what part of the LBA you're most associated with, if you want to, and we'll go on from there.
Steve, you want to go first?
Well, sure. Of course, I've been introduced to Steve French. That's who I was when I was born, so I will keep that name.
All right.
Partner and conservation director for the LBAA and WFT. Enjoy being on the series with both. And Travis there, he's one of a kind.
That's the way he's playing it.
I guess. So I'm Travis Birch, partners in the LBAA and World Fishing Tour with Steve and Craig, and we just have a passion for fishing and conservation and mental health and everything that goes on in this crazy world that we live in. It's just nice to get people outside and give them a chance to smile.
Yes. Oh, Rob's in his truck, so he might be running low on gas. So
yeah. Or remind people like Rob to put their seatbelt on. We're all about everything.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just going up through the mountains, so it happens.
Okay. So this was your first year with the in charge of the LBAA. How would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Depends on which part you're rating. The overall experience. Seriously. The overall experience. For me, and I don't want to speak for Steve, but it was a 10. Like, it's not Definitely. What I expected.
Definitely a 10. Yep. It was an enjoyable season this year.
Yep. There's just something about, I don't ever want to say anything bad about men of anglers, but the guys on the sport, but there's just something about the women, man. They just love it. They love to talk about it. They love to, co-mingle. Rob got to come by Gunnersville at a weigh-in, and I know he's spoken about it many times on your shows.
Yes.
So.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. Every lady was there to the final weigh-in, to the final angle. I've never seen that before. So hats off to you, ladies. That was really impressive.
Yeah, and through Facebook, I saw a couple comments on some of the posts today that some of the men were there for the championship, and they were so enamored with the way the professionalism that each of the women carried themselves with. Even there was a decent amount of money online, and they helped each other out.
That's so true.
Yeah, they're it's funny because it's like it's cutthroat. They want to beat each other, and then it's like, hey, I'm out of this Okeechobee crawl. I just used my last one. Oh, I've got 5 left. I'll split them with you. You know what I mean? Like, yep. That just doesn't happen in most sports.
No.
I don't even know if that really happens in most women's sports. When it comes to making each other better, they're constantly making each other. It's just overall, it was a crazy, crazy enjoyable experience.
Absolutely.
Excellent. But it was a great experience.
Yep.
All right. So I don't know how you want to do this. Do you want to do a rundown of 2024 for a little bit, and then we'll hop right into next year? And
yeah. I just kind of took some little chicken scratch notes here so I don't mess up any dates because I got a pretty good memory, but every once in a while I botch that when I try to go off of memory. So, ultimately, I want to recognize, obviously all the winners. It's basically kind of like the top 5 from every tournament. And then obviously our anglers of the year, rookie of the year on both sides, and then talk about next year's schedule. But just so I don't mess it up, I'm kind of looking at my notepad here. We started off the season at Toledo Bend, and Cheryl Bowden, who eventually went on to win our classic, took the lead of the first tournament of the year. She weighed in a total of 29-11 on a 2-day tournament. Our frogging machine and one of the longest anglers on tour, I think she's never missed an event, Linda Gessner, who eventually went on to win Angler of the Year on the boater side, came in second. Dana Lee Lofton got third. Nikki Johatton, which was only able to fish 2 tournaments with us this year because she's a traveling nurse and she's busy fishing BFLs and everything else as well, got fourth. And then Jan Hudson from the Bull Shoals Lake area got fifth. And on the co-angler side, Pamela Halwerda, which is, I always joke with her on stage because she's our little spunk of energy. It don't matter if she's weighing a 12-inch fish at a 12-inch minimum tournament or if she's weighing a major sack and winning a tournament like she did at Toledo. The smiles are awesome, right? And the energy. I mean, she's a veteran. I mean, former, I think, teacher as well. I mean, just her energy is overall just crazy. Susie Hearn got second at that tournament. Secret York, who has yet to not finish in the top 3 since we've been around, got third. Diana Ebelhawk, who is our Toyota rep that gets our Toyota sponsorship. We can't do that without Diana. I mean, they sponsor the ladies just as good as they do the elites, which that's hats off to Toyota. It's one reason why I bought a Toyota. It's one reason why I bought my wife a Toyota. I drove a Toyota before that, but that's one reason why I went ahead and upgraded. If they're going to support the ladies, I'm going to support them. So Judy Skabinski got fifth at that tournament as well. And then we had I think there was about 4 to 5 weeks in between all of our tournaments this year.
Yep.
Just kind of going off of memory. Does that feel about right, Steve?
Yeah, it sure does.
I know it feels like we're on the road every other day.
That feels right for this year.
Yeah, right. Ann Carmichael, who originally was not going to fish this year because the classic fell on her husband and her anniversary, came and filled a spot last minute as a co-angler at Toledo and said, you know what, I want to fish Bull Shoals as the tournament and I won't fish anymore. Well, she went on to win it. So 30.59 is what she weighed in Bull for a 2-day tournament. I mean, and that was one of the first, well, not the first experience, but one of the first times I really saw true sportsmanship, especially on the pro side, was she offered Terry Sendrick, who was right there neck and neck with her on day 2 when Terry had a boat issue, to share the boat. I know you guys have talked about that. So she was going to give up the front of the boat half the day and she was going to take half the day. And that doesn't happen in most sports. Chloe Barnum, who we did a little cross promo with World Fishing Tour this year, courtesy of my main business, K-Guard Guttering. We did a little cross sponsorship where if you made day 2 of a World Fishing Tour, which is the championship day, and you were the highest finishing angler, you got a free entry into the LBAA. So Chloe Barnum was able to use that entry in top 3 and cash a check. She was 18 years old at the time. She actually drew Secret York on day 2, and Secret said, you better watch out for this young girl. And then she went on to fish the Classic and ended up getting second. So Cindy Adler-Jackson was our Rookie of the Year. She was in contention to win that Bull Shoals event. Kind of had a bad day 2 there at Bull Shoals. She still had a limit and everything, if I remember right, but just didn't coal up what she needed to. I know she was the heartstrings were there. She wanted that one bad. You could just tell. But heck of an angler. She's been putting out some amazing content this year. Has really taken to the YouTube game and the shorts game. We challenged all the anglers to have the most viral video this year, and you would get free entries for the following year. Well, Carly Jo Previtt won that on the co-angler side, and since that was half the cost that I was expecting to pay out, we went ahead and paid half of Cindy Adler's entry fees next year as a boater. So, or her full entry as a co-angler, she decides to do that. Just because we want to reward those that are promoting the brand and promoting fishing. So, and then Vanetta Grodicki got 5th at that tournament. And then on the co-angler side, it was Jenny Orlowski, another one that's just amazing energy. She actually rooms with Pam Halwerda. She won that tournament. Pam, her roommate, got 2nd. Secret York got 3rd. No shock there that she's in the top 3 again. Cassie Hall, which she's our morning wake up call. You're going to hear Roll Tide out of her going through weigh-in, and you're not going to miss it. And then Judy Skabinski got top 5 again. She got 5th place. Feel like we're kind of flying through this, but I'm trying not to take up too much time going through the results. We went to Table Rock Lake, which is when we were there, it was what was it? The first week of May, I think, Steve. It was like graduation week or second,
Yeah.
8 to 10, something like that.
Right there.
Expected the fish to be a little bit more up shallow and expected, a little bit bigger weights. It ended up only being 25.80 to win it, but it was no shock that Linda Gessner could find him, and then she won that tournament. And then her wife, Robbie Hartline, got second. I hope it's okay to say that now that she announced that on stage. But they got married recently, so congratulations to them. Terry Cindric got third at that one. And then Christina Ball got fourth. And then Linda Redford hadn't fished an LBAA tournament. I forgot how long. I remember Secret saying, man, it's been a long time since I've seen Linda. And we actually had a Rising Star Award this year, courtesy of Highway 125 Marina. And Linda said she was kind of joking. She was like, it's kind of a joke because I think she's maybe late 60s, early 70s, something like that. She's around.
Be careful there.
I know. I can't remember what she said, but she said it's funny that I'm the rising star and I'm one of the older ones here. Yeah, I think she's like 67, 68. So, but she won the Rising Star Award there. So because she had stepped away for more than a couple of years, she was able to win that. So that was an awesome deal for her. Secret won that tournament. That was the first one she's won since we've taken over with 1561. Diana Eblehawk, again, our Toyota rep, got second. Jenny Orlowski got third. And then the one we've all seen a lot about this year, the one that holds the fish in her mouth, Carly Jo Previtt, got fourth. And then Susie Hearn, we didn't talk about her when she got in the top 5 on one of the other tournaments, but she was our little hero at Toledo. She literally saved the life of Nikki Jo Hatton when she went in the water, full bibs and zipped up. And Susie's not a very big girl, so to be able to pull up a person with a bunch of waders full of water and use the motor. If you ever fall in the water, take this advice. Susie was able to use the trim of the motor to help leverage the weight to get Nikki in. And it's not like Nikki's heavy. It was just all that water weight. Her bibs were completely full of water, and I don't know how much. What is water? 8 pounds a gallon or something like that.
Yep.
It's that's a lot of weight. So that was the top 5 there, and then we wrapped up our season at Gunnersville, and boy, was it hot.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Me and Steve don't really get on each other's nerves very often, and I'm pretty sure we probably wanted to kill each other for making that tournament that time of year. It was just so hot. I was glad that my wife was there to help, and the kids were there to help run fish to the live release trailer, and because it was so hot. Man. But Heather Broom had an amazing day 1, and then caught enough on day 2 to take the lead, which was 33-26 on that tournament. Ann Carmichael finished a close second to her. Christine Fisher was able to finally join a LBAA tournament, and she had an amazing experience. And it was nice to get some new eyes on the tour. So she shared a thing like a year ago to give away a contest to go fishing with her. And we had talked about her fishing Gunnersville, and she told me she was going to fish Gunnersville, and she was going to try to sneak in one of the others if it worked around her schedule. And then she called me like 2 weeks before and said, Travis, I messed up. I promised you I'd be at Gunnersville, and I also promised that we would go fishing this weekend for my tournament or for my giveaway. And so she said, is there any way the person that won my drawing can fish with me one day at Gunnersville? And I said, we actually have that rule in the LBAA. If you bring a new just to kind of lower that barrier entry, that anxiety, we do that anyway. So this works out perfect. So she brought Kate Perkins along with her. And awesome. I think they had an awesome experience. And Kate said she's going to be there next year. Christine's going to be trying to make as many as she can around her busy, crazy kayak opens and everything else she does. So Christine got third. Lisa Johnson, who hadn't fished a tournament in a few years with LBAA, got fourth. I believe she also won Big Bass that tournament, won a Clutch Eco swim bait. And then the legend Pam Martin Wells, who's been battling, cancer off and on. It was nice to finally see her get out there. It was hard on her that week with the heat and everything, but she still was able to round out the top 5. And Monica Altman got 6th that place, but she hadn't fished a tournament with LBAA in a while, from what I understand. So I just wanted to kind of mention her as well. And then on the co-angler side, Secret won again. So she had 2 thirds and 2 first, I believe. Kate Perkins, who won the trip with Christine Fisher, got second. And she was only 0.37 or 0.36 out of the lead from trying to tie Secret. Like, For a girl that's from Alaska, she used to be from Alaska. She now resides in Texas and works in Alaska like 2 weeks a month or something like that in the oil business. I mean, she came in with a vengeance. Sherry Jacks got third, which she fishes with LBAA a lot. She was only able to make that event because she's got a restaurant business down in Alabama, and this year was tough on staffing on her. So she was only able to make that one. And then Dana Rabone got fourth, and then Angie Banks fished her first tournament with us this year and got fifth. So that wraps up the season. I don't know if I mentioned Carly Joe got Rookie of the Year on the co-angler side. And then Secret also got Angler of the Year on the co-angler side. I think I forgot to mention that. So any questions you got about the season before we wrap up classic results?
No, I just want to go through a couple comments if you don't mind, real quick.
Yeah.
Angela Breeze, my mother-in-law, she says hello and says the women are team players. And Carly Joe says, "Hey guys."
Hello, Carly.
Oh, and Rob's missing. He went AWOL.
That's all right.
Oh, yeah. So one thing that surprised me is Carly Joe, how she handled herself at such a young age amongst all the, I don't want to say older women, all the elder statesmen of the sport. You know, you couldn't tell she was in junior high.
No, you couldn't tell she was in junior high, and you couldn't tell she was competing against some of these ladies are career like pro co-anglers. Not to say, they always call it pro-ams, right? But some of these ladies are absolute pros on the back of this. I mean, most of them, honestly. I mean, I can't think of any of them that aren't. But I mean, they're just absolute hammers on the back of the boat, and she just came in there and competed like it was nothing. She held her own. I mean,
yes,
she had high expectations too. She set big goals. Her goal was to, I forget what her two goals. I think one of them was Rookie of the Year, and the other one was, I think, the top 5 or make the classic maybe or something like that.
Yes.
I mean, those are pretty lofty goals for a girl that's coming in to compete against, kind of the legends of the game.
She fit right in with the ladies too.
She did. Yeah, I was super nervous because when we took over and we were looking at the rules and we knew that we needed to grow this thing, and I was like, man, 14's a little young, so what if we put a couple disclaimers in there that you had to fish like big bass events, big TBF events, and actually went through bad weather, good weather, stuff like that. And her mom said, man, she fishes a tournament every chance she gets, and she understands the bathroom issue. She understands everything that you have to deal with out on the water, harsh conditions, hot conditions, all that stuff. So she handled it like a champ, that's for sure. I think she was a little nervous on day 2 at Toledo because it was that's a sketchy lake, and we had a storm that was blowing in north of the bridge, and it looked like it was going to be north of the bridge all day. Let the ladies know where it was going to be bad. They were still okay to run there if they wanted to, but that was a gamble in my opinion. And looking back on that, who knows? Maybe we should have made a different call. But everybody was luckily able to make it back safely. So
yeah,
with a scare.
That's a good thing. They all made it back.
Yep.
So, Steve, do you have any input on 24? How it went?
It was amazing when we started out with the women. I had no idea we were getting into what we got into. Of course, we visited with them on the 23 Classic. We were invited down to visit with them, and it was a totally different mindset with the ladies than I'd seen with any other tournament series I've been involved with. And I think that's probably what sealed us on taking over the women. All through the season, it was the same way, like Travis said, if somebody needed a special bait or if there was a boat problem, anything, somebody would step up and help. And it wasn't just the ones that were in last place saying, this is something we can help with. It was those that were in the lead that also did the same thing. They jeopardized their leads to help out their fellow anglers, and it was just a great experience with them. The areas that we fished this year, the Toledo Bend, it was a pretty rough tournament, and weather-wise, not only did we about lose an angler there, but we also, in the docks where we were at, almost lost a couple of boats that were swamped with. It was that bad of weather, and the waves were coming into the docks, which were protected by barriers, but didn't seem to help any. So yeah, this was just a great year altogether. And I think that what we're going to look at coming forward is even going to get better.
Yep, I remember day one at Toledo was the first day we had ran a tournament for LBAA, and they a lot of the ladies told us that the weigh-ins were too long in the past, and so day one I just sped them on through. Right, got done. They were like, "We do like to talk a little bit," so I think we found a middle ground of letting them talk, but not like dragging it out 3 hours. So it's been a lot of fun. And we're always looking for more feedback from them. So if they want faster day ones, we'll do faster day ones, longer day twos. When it comes to talking on stage, like we are open to help them grow the sport, because at the end of the day, we're not doing this to get rich. We're doing this to try to help grow the sport and put people's mental health at a good spot, and giving women a place. I mean, me and Steve have been talking about the demographic of where we probably need to be marketing to. A lot this last 2 to 3 months, and it's a little bit different than guys. I mean, most guys kind of go off and do their own thing regardless of what age they are, but some guys don't. And some of those, families and work hard and all that fun stuff, they kind of got to get them right out of high school, or you got to get them when they retire on the guys' side. And on the ladies, I truly think you got to market to them before they either start their family, so high school, college age, or about that, what do we call it? We call it empty nesters. That's kind of what I labeled that demographic, because that's a different age, right? I mean, some people become empty nesters at very young age, 35 to 45, and some are, empty nesters up to probably 55, 60, depending on how many kids they had. And so we kind of got that two sweet spots of marketing, but there's probably wasted money if you marketed to do a 25 to 35-year-old. So, but that doesn't mean they're not allowed to come out. We were just talking about where we need to spend our marketing dollars, probably.
Yeah, got a couple more comments real quick. Ashley Prevet says, "Thank you, Travis and Steve, for looking into my girl and giving her a chance with the LBAA." Paula Duke Wilson, home lake luck for her, bad luck.
She was talking about Toledo.
Yeah. And Angela Breeze says the older ladies are just more experienced.
That they are.
And you might have heard this woman before, Pam Horn.
Who's she?
Yeah, that doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah.
Hi, Pam.
Hello to all those ladies.
Yeah. Pam has done a wonderful job of helping promote the sport. The one thing that impressed me this year is you had a mentorship program as well.
Yep.
That you put with Carly and Pam, and that has turned into a family, not just a friendship. It's more of a family.
Yeah, that was kind of in place to begin with. We just kind of reread the rules, and they had a little thing in there saying that we would pair you with the young new angler. We would try to pair you with a mentor, and I was like, I really like that. And then when I found out where Ashley and all them were from for Carly Jo, I was like, I think Pam would probably be the right fit. She cares about growing the sport. She does a lot of boat captaining stuff for youth, and it's been her dream to fish LBAA a lot, because it's she's always trying to squeeze them in wherever she can because she fishes so much. But we're finally able to get her out there. I think she fished all of them this year. Pam can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have those notes right in front of me. I didn't note everything, but yeah, it was a pleasure having Pam out there. Just like all the ladies. I mean, I can't thank them for having the faith in us. You know what I mean? Like, we walked in that room and they were probably looking at Steve and me and Craig and was like, yeah, we don't know about this. But I'm glad they had the faith in us and gave us a shot, and it grew. I mean, by the end of the year, I think we started with 15 boats, and by the end of the year, I think we had 24 that paid at Gunnersville, and we had somebody had to back out last minute. So basically right at 50% growth by the end of the year at our furthest east tournament, which was kind of a shocker. I figured that would be the one that didn't grow. So.
Yeah. Heather Paris Broom says, empty nester here, LOL. Enjoyed a great year with everyone. Looking forward to 25.
Yeah. Heather was awesome. She's definitely, we've had a lot of communications back and forth, especially when they're in practice. I always get that coffee picture in the morning, at least once during practice of them running down the lake. It's from Secret sending it, and then usually hear something about practice. Obviously, I don't share that with anybody, but I knew she was going to have a good tournament at Gunnersville. Let's just put it that way. As long as she didn't win practice and have bad luck in the tournament, she was on them.
Good.
So
that's always nice when they get a chance to execute.
Yep. We've all won practice before, right? And not executed.
I think that's a problem, though. You win practice, then you're all excited, then all of a sudden the fish move, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Pam has another comment, believe it or not. We knew Craig's passion, and we learned yours and Steve's passion. And we're thankful for all three of you.
Yep. Yes. It's one of those things where me and Steve, we met, I think 5 years ago it was me and my wife's first ever tournament to run. I'd boat captain for the kids. I'd fished the opens as a co and even a pro that year, I think, the year I took over that, because I wanted to make sure I knew everything about running tournaments. And I figured Bass was a good role model for me to learn from. And I was like, I'm going to plan the college championship as my first tournament, because Kansas's college state championships usually like 8 to 10 boats. Steve walked up, and he ain't left my side since. He's like, if you ever need help at a tournament, let me know. And I said, you just talked to the wrong guy.
Yeah, those words aren't quite appropriate.
If you need help means yes, I will call.
Yeah.
It was more that he wouldn't leave. I didn't even have to call him. He's just been
You
there.
hear that? He wanted me to leave.
No. But yeah, since the very first youth and high school tournament, he asked me if I needed his help, and I said, I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah.
I
my son was in youth and went through high school and lost my boat in high school, and it went to college with him. So he was actually fishing tournament. And so, yeah, it's been fun working with the youth throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And Denise says, hey guys, sorry I'm late doing birthday stuff.
Hey, I
Happy
saw that,
birthday,
Denise.
Denise.
Happy birthday.
Denise is one of our federations. She owns East Texas Lady Anglers, which I know you've had her on the show, but just in case somebody's watching for the first time and you live in East Texas and want a path into the LBAA, that's another way you can get into the Classic.
And if I'm not mistaken, she just put their schedule out for next year.
Oh, I need to go pull that up. I need to get all the federation schedules. I know Robbie Hartline just texted me working on theirs tonight for the St. Louis Bass and Gals. So need to get all those schedules on the LBAA page, so women have plenty of stuff and plenty of options to come fish. So,
yeah. And Rob and I both want to thank you guys for reaching out to us to do a women's program.
Yep.
And we were shocked that we were both shocked at how welcoming it is, and it's always our top viewed shows of the week.
Yeah, I mean, heck, we just met two guys. We just met two guys down at Truman Lake. Remember, Steve, on the back of their bed?
Yep.
They were just having a whiskey after a day of crappie fishing on the back of their tailgate. You know, just waiting to go into the hotel. And man, they said they've been watching some of the ladies and the weigh-ins and stuff, and they were like, "That's a product." He was like, "That's something I want to watch as a male angler. I want to watch them. They're entertaining."
Oh, wow.
So. And then we introduced them to I remember you've probably seen the video of Rain Out from Rain Outdoors that Heather Broom took her out.
Yep.
She went 400 mile an hour, 600 mile an hour, 800 mile an hour. That video. they were rolling.
Yes. Yeah, the sportsmanship the women have for each other, the friendship, you can't say enough about. And but we know all the men's leagues have had a lot of changes coming out. Have you guys had any changes for next year?
Nope. We didn't even tweak a rule this year. I mean, we've talked about, like a small tweak of how you properly measure fish, because all the way across every other major organization, you're not allowed to pinch the tail, and that's in the LBAA rules. We kind of talked about that, but I mean, really, I don't think there's really anything that needs to be changed. We kind of surveyed the anglers about official practice, unofficial practice, fishing with husbands or spouses, and wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. And for the most part, I think it worked pretty well, because the way we wrote it last year was you could fish with your spouse as long as we knew about it after a certain amount of time up until official practice. As long as they weren't a guide or something on that lake, I mean, you could fish with that person. And once official practice started, we wanted co-anglers to have an option to go out. And so it kind of gives both parties a little bit of their argument. I mean, we live in a, kind of a 50-50 deal on which side we want to lean on rules and stuff. And I felt like that kind of got both sides handled, if that makes sense.
All right. Before we get into 2025, Denise says, "Yay, so happy to hear that Robbie Hartline and that group of ladies are bringing their federation into the LBAA." So
I just assumed they were already part of the LBAA federation, so that might be me mistaken. So to me, if you're a ladies trail and you want to send somebody to the classic, you better just reach out, because we're not in that for the money, right? So we're in it to grow the sport. So we haven't mentioned the classic yet. John, you care if we hit that real quick? I would like to highlight the top 10 of the classic on both sides. Cheryl Bowden won her third classic, which she weighed in a 3-day total of 30.12. I think she went out in fourth or fifth. I forgot to take that note down, but I think she went out in fourth or fifth. And before we did the whole hot seat deal, she was leading, so I had to call her up, and Secret had just, won on the co-angler side, and so they got to sit on the chair together, the previous owners, and I think they called it share a cheek or something like that, or split the cheeks and shared the chair, and it was kind of comical, and it was nice to see. I didn't know them before, but I can assume what it would be like to try to run a tournament, and try to run the tournament and fish the tournament. Can you imagine that, Steve?
That would have been rough.
Yeah,
I don't know how it can be done.
I don't know. I didn't know them. I didn't know their attitude, but just the little bit that I saw at the classic and how much weight had been lifted, I think was night and day, to just go out and fish. I know Secret went to the back of the boat, and that alleviated a lot of the stress, and I'm sure that helped out before we met her. So we didn't really, know them beforehand, but I just felt like it relieved a lot of the stress, and their results speak for it. So Cheryl won the classic. That young gun Chloe turned 19 a few days before the classic there, and she came to the classic and got second, which was 29.70 on a lake she'd only fished once or twice. Vanetta Grodicke got third place at the classic, weighing in 29.37. The legend Robbie Hartline got fourth for 28.40, and Jen Nolan got fifth with 27.21. And then rounding out 6 through 10 on the pro side was Ann Carmichael, Terry Sendrick, Denise Sesteta, Leslie Anderson, and Cindy Adler Jackson on the top 10. Now, on the co-angler side, I know I already said Secret York had won it. She won it. She beat out our gold medal winner, Rhonda Pitts. She qualified through ICAST Cup or whatever and went on to win a gold medal for the United States. So that was awesome. And then she finished off that month with the second place in the Classic, qualifying through East Texas Lady Anglers. And then Diana Eaglehawk, 1682. Charlotte Frazier is another one that we just love the energy, love the smile. She always jokes around that she's the old lady and Carly's the young lady or something like that. I forget how she says it. She's done the fish in the mouth thing that Carly does a couple times. It's awesome to see. Susie Hearn got fifth. Cassie Hall got sixth. Heather Herring is another one that won her way in through the World Fishing Tour because they won World Fishing Tour on Grand Lake. Her and her boyfriend or fiance, I don't know their official title, but they fish a lot together on Grand Lake in the Ozark region. Jenny Orlowski, and then Lynette Fitz and Lynette Doyle rounded out the top 10. So it was just a fun 3-day tournament on Grand. Grove showed out. one thing that was really cool while we were at Grove is people were bringing in money and donations. And if you go back and watch all of Cheryl Bowden's videos that she just released, Cheryl's been putting out a lot of videos about the Classic and a few videos throughout the year. There's a guy on the dock that says, "Hey, are you all fishing that ladies tournament?" And, Cheryl and I think she had Diana on the back of her boat that day. We're like, "Oh, yeah." They're like, "Do you know that lady that's from North Carolina?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, Heather Broom. We heard about what you guys are trying to do." And he said, "Come over here real quick," and gave her $100 to give to Heather. And if you follow Heather Broom's post, she went back and took all that stuff back, trucking a boat full, and then had a bunch of cash and gift cards. And they went out and bought propane tanks and buddy heaters and anything and everything that they needed in North Carolina that they could use. And North Carolina still needs help. I got a buddy there right now that owns a Any Tops cabinet or Any Tops countertop business here in Kansas City area, and they just took a U-Haul full or a Mercedes, covered van full or whatever they are, all the way down there. And he said the devastation, some cities still have not really had true help.
Yeah.
So don't stop helping that cause, because our federal aid, unfortunately, has not been helping out as much as they probably should have.
That is true.
One thing I wanted to say about the Classic too was one thing we noticed along with the growth of the anglers that we have is the fan base of the anglers has grown. And that weigh-in that day at the Classic was, I think I counted 54 fans that were in the crowd there watching live. And we don't see that in the men's events. And we really got a lot of people that weren't really involved with the anglers at all, but were from the city of Grove or that area that wanted to come out and watch.
Yep.
Awesome.
There's certain cities that really support fishing, but I mean overall, every city has pretty much supported. At least somebody has been showing up to the weigh-ins for the ladies more than they do on the guys' side. So it also, I mean, you guys just mentioned it on the podcast results, right? I mean, I don't know your guys' numbers, but I know the numbers of LBAA and the backside of everything that when we took it over, they hadn't done a whole lot of social media presence, and we still need to do a whole lot more. I'm guilty of never posting to Instagram and Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I do the occasional TikTok post, and I mainly post to Facebook. I grew up in a Facebook, MySpace generation, and that's always kind of been my thing, right?
Yeah.
So I get critiqued from my marketing buddies, and my buddy from Clutch, Josh Pleiades, he owns Clutch Swim Bait Company, and he's like, "Travis, you're not doing anything on Instagram. Come on, man." I was like, "I know." He's like, "I'm slacking." He was like, "But you're really slacking." I was like, "I know."
I'm guilty. I'm terrible at the Instagram.
Yep. You guys are familiar with Abby Keeney. She did our video work this year. We actually just talked today about her coming on full time for my main business, and then we would supplement it with, her salary would also be included for LBAA and World Fishing Tour, because we got to be able to grow this thing. And the problem is me and Steve's older than I am, and I'm still not. Other than Facebook, I mean, I don't really get on social media that much. TikTok, kind of to scroll some videos and stuff. But we're not social media gurus by any means, and Abby's that younger age, and so I was talking to her about possibly just coming to work for K-Guard full time, which is my gutter company.
Yep.
And I own the Kansas and Missouri branch, but there's K-Guards nationwide. Just in case you're listening anywhere, call K-Guard. They'll keep your leaves out of your gutters. But so I figured if we could, pay her a salary all year, it would help alleviate some of the cost of the LBAA and the World Fishing Tour, and then I would, supplement that income whenever she comes out with us, because to pay somebody subcontractor wages or whatever to come do that kind of work's very, very expensive. And the tour's just not quite big enough for that, but we know we need it. Yeah. But we need more content in between, and she hasn't been doing any of the stuff in between yet. That's just been me just messing around, taking her B-roll and editing down and adding words to it. But thank goodness for AI generating clips, because I wouldn't even know where to begin. So
I agree with you there.
Yep.
Oh, Rhonda says great being at the Classic this year.
it was great to finally meet Rhonda. We've been trying to follow her all year because we knew she was one of those hammers on the back of the boat and even probably the front of the boat too. When we first took it over, my first night at the Classic, I think I friended probably 200 women in fishing.
Wow.
I was looking for them. I was like, where are they at? I know I see a lot of women fishing. I was like, where are they at? How come there's only 20 girls here?
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. But no, it's been fun, and for me, the ladies are more fun and seem more passionate
Yep.
than the men do when we interview them.
100%.
And thankful to get a platform. It's obvious. I mean, every time we have one on, and it's a blessing. Every time we have one of your lady anglers on, it's a blessing. We're both blessed.
Yeah.
Well, with the men, we have to hog tie them to drag them up on stage to say anything, and then they don't say anything.
Yeah. It's like, will you hold these up for a picture? No.
Yeah.
Like,
They're not big enough.
You're leading the tournament. You have to hold these up.
Please,
Right.
please.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I can understand that. I had big bass on Lake Erie for Toyota Series event and it was a 5-6 smallmouth, and I just wanted to get that in the back in the water, and
Yep.
So I can understand that, but I also understand your side of it too. Is let's get some pictures taken. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to get pictures of every single person. I mean, obviously they did this year, but I wanted to at least get pictures of everybody one time. I mean, we're paying Abby to be there to get photos and to do video production and stuff, and it's like we kind of need some content, and we kind of need updated pictures. People have changed in the last 10 years, and you now have short hair, you now have long hair, whatever. Like, let's put out an updated photo of who you really are. So if fans do come up to you, they're like, hey, that's Secret, that's Cheryl, that's, Heather, that's whoever, that's Carly Joe. It's nice to recognize who you've been watching on social media.
Now that you brought that up about getting that bass back in the water, I want to shout out to the Bass Hall of Fame and give them a plug here, because we put in for a grant with them to build our live release trailer, and we did receive that grant. And without that, it wouldn't have been possible. But we do put fish directly back in. We have 3 tanks in the trailer, a little bit over 750 gallons to put fish back in, aeration. We do the whole works, and then we transport them to a different area of the lake where nobody else knows about it and release the fish back into it. They're not placed right back there at the weigh-in area. So they go right back in as soon as he's done with the last person, I'm loading the trailer up and I'm gone to a ramp someplace. But Bass Hall of Fame came through for us and really made it great for us to do that.
Gene Gillian is a legend, and he's kind of in charge of those grants and stuff at Bass Hall of Fame. And Gene's so knowledgeable. Like, I mean, Steve's dealt with him for years, being the conservation director of Kansas for a few years. And like, you can call Gene with any question about fish care, and he will answer it probably any time of day, as long as his phone rings and he hears it. So,
yes. All right, so let's try to get on to 2025. This is
shoot.
I know you're picking up some new anglers.
Maybe.
I saw a couple of them that committed. That said they're going to commit. So
yeah, some of them have registered, some of them haven't. One thing about the boaters side, which don't know how to fix this, is boaters don't register until they have to. Yeah. So we don't know how many boats we're going to pick up, or if we're going to go up in numbers or be about the same or not. But I do know we have some new anglers coming out. I know a couple of them registered for Kiwi, a couple of them I think registered for Seminole and Harris Chain, and definitely for Caddo. So it should be an interesting year. Steve went to ICAST, and we didn't have a booth there or anything. It was kind of last minute, thanks to Jen Nolan and Denise and all them that were down there at ICAST, kind of helping show Steve the ropes. I would have been there, but I'd already agreed to boat captain the junior national championship on Chickamauga, which was another good experience because I got to miss the Dayton, Tennessee people, and We are don't want to say a date yet, but we are pretty sure we are going there in 2026. FYI, ladies. They want to start hosting the ladies every 2 to 4 years at Chick and Watts Bar and kind of rotate. So they are into growing the sport. We all know how big fishing is on that side of the state. So I think that'd be a big deal. We can't go as many East tournaments as we did this year every year, but we got to play it out a little bit and rotate it around. But we wanted to give the East ladies a shot. They've been traveling, especially like Heather Broom and Pam Martin Wells and Charlotte Frazier and Judy Skabinski. I know I'm losing names down there that travel far. They've been traveling to the central part of the states for a long time. So it's we're going to give them a reward a year, see if we can get some anglers out there, and then just kind of the goal is to do 2 kind of in the East, 2 kind of in the North Central, and 2 kind of in the South Central Midwest, or kind of the upper Midwest and the lower, South Central Texas, Louisiana, Ozark region, stuff like that. So I think if we do that, ladies pick their best 3, it will give a lot of people logistical help because fishing's expensive. It's hard for anybody to pull a rig across the country, especially solo. Some of them travel solo.
Yep.
And it's dangerous now. Some of these ladies are driving at night by themselves across the country, and that's a little spooky in it, if you ask me. So I don't like traveling at night solo and pulling into some of the gas stations I pulled into. I'd hate if my wife had to.
Yep.
Oh, I hear you. I do have a question. We're 46 minutes in. Do we want to do another show for 2025?
We can knock it out real quick, I think, but we can do another one later.
All right. Hey,
we'll do both. We'll do both.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. We'll just sum it up pretty quick. It's we're doing 5 stops.
Yep.
Kind of 3 in the southeast, 1 being all the way down in Florida. So we're gonna start the year at Kiwi. We kind of wanted to spread it out to give you all types of fisheries. We don't want to go to lakes that are pre-spawn all the time or spawn all the time. So we're going to Kiwi. It's an extreme clear water fishery. It's got a power plant on it. It feeds Hartwell. Hartwell actually wants to host the ladies as well. So kind of a rotation, Kiwi and Hartwell every 2 to 3, 4 years, stuff like what Chick and all them mentioned too. So we're going to Kiwi first, January 9th and 10th. It could be lows in the 40s, highs in the 70s. And we could be taking off at freezing or slightly below freezing and have highs in the 50s. It's the extended forecast right now looks pretty good, but that doesn't mean anything. We're still far enough out that it could completely change. Then we're going to go to Seminole, Bainbridge, Georgia.
Yep.
It's where Pam Martin Wells is originally from. I know she coaches now for one of the colleges. But Lake Seminole, Bainbridge, Georgia, finally was able to work out a deal with them. We've been trying to go to Seminole for a few years now, I guess. Finally able to work that out. February 6th and February 7th. So those are a month apart, which is kind of what we tried to do all year. Being that so many ladies were going to be traveling all the way down to the Florida-Georgia line in February, I personally, knowing that we've been kind of staging the trailer in places and knowing that you can find some affordable places to rent for 2 to 3 weeks, $30 to $45 a month for a storage unit. A lot of places, if they have vacancy, they'll give you that deal for a couple weeks. Harris Chain will be February 20th to 21st. We wanted to give them a way to possibly stage their boat, drive home, see their family for a couple weeks, and then drive back down, or even fly home. It might be cheaper to fly home, fly back if you're from the central states or whatever, and just rent a car for those 2 weeks and not have to put wear and tear on your tow rig. We were trying to think. I know it's kind of feels like back-to-back events, but was trying to think logistically to save some of the ladies some of that. And then we take like 5 weeks off, and then we go to Caddo in Louisiana at the start of February. Start of April, not February. As we're going to be launching on the Shreveport, Bossier City side. So very thankful for Shreveport and Bossier City for wanting to host the ladies again. They've hosted them before. As a lot of people call it, Lake Picketry. But Bull Shoals will round out the event. We were trying to go to Kentucky Lake or somewhere in the Kentucky Lake region, Pickwick and all that stuff. We just could not work out a date with any of those cities. It's not that they weren't trying. We just could not. Bass and BFLs get priority. We actually had an event planned on Seminole for World Fishing Tour right after the LBAA, and we got booted. So I got a phone call saying, hey, BFL needs to move up their stuff for a week for high school MLF. and that means you're out. So it's, do you want 40 or 50 boats, or do you want 200 boats? If you're a city, everybody's going to pick 200 boats every day of the week. It's about economic impact at the end of the day for these lakes to have people come in. So we understand. So Bull Shoals will always probably be our backup lake. Craig LaPointe is, part owner, part partner in all this. He was able to get us some sponsorships for this first year this year, and hopefully he'll be able to renew some of those. Hopefully we brought the value to those companies that he got as well. So Bull Shoals will round out the year. Because it was a last minute fill in, we had to move up the tournament to Wednesday, Thursday instead of Thursday, Friday. So it's a little bit different. So that means the ladies can practice a day earlier because the tournament's a day earlier. Same rules apply, just a day difference. He hasn't had a conflict for teams practicing, coming into town to practice on that Friday, and they're going to need to stay Friday night. And one thing about the ladies, we've noticed they love to stay an extra night, and that's good for the cities. It's economic impact. But they love to stay an extra night, have dinner together, relax, have some drinks together, whatever it is. It's just good it's good for them to rest before they drive because it's safer.
Yes.
And it's good for the cities. I mean, cities are the resorts. I mean, they spend an extra couple bucks. And so it's not about making a dollar necessarily with the women. It's a trip.
Yep. Yes. Pam Horn says he's been teasing us for a week and a half. Keep the pressure on him.
Oh, do you want to know about the classic?
Could be.
Well, let me tell him.
I'll give him a
No, we'll wait.
Steve. I've got a teaser for him. I said it would be in fall of 2025. How about we give out a date of October 8th, 9th, and 10th, but not a location yet because the contract's not official quite yet, but it's there.
Perfect.
They called the day with the date. So October 8th, 9th, and 10th will be the classic.
That would be a great time to go to St. Lawrence River in New York.
Would it?
Or Champlain, or beautiful country up there.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Might be a little bit of a haul though.
If the prize pool was right, I don't know what the right prize pool number is. Oh, let's put that out there as a poll right now. If we were to go, you named Champlain, so that's what, New York?
Yep.
Yeah.
If we were to go somewhere like New York, ladies, let's ask this question. Champlain is not it, by the way. This is just a poll. If we wanted to go to Champlain some year, whether classic or not, what would the prize pool need to be for you to go or be willing to go to such an iconic fishery or to the Northeast like that?
Ron the Pit says St. Lawrence River.
There's one vote.
Right.
And,
but I mean, it's got to be
economically feasible for the ladies.
Yeah. I mean, not only economic. I mean, it's got to make sense. Obviously, we all want to go on bucket list fisheries. I mean, that's a 20-hour drive, probably 23-hour drive from the Kansas City region, I would guess.
Yeah.
So I haven't looked that up. I've always wanted to go to St. Lawrence. I've just never looked it up because I know I'll look it up and go, I'll do it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I can tell you that back in, what was it, 19, I spent the season with the elites as a marshal, went to all the events. St. Lawrence was one of them, and it is a fantastic fishery.
Awesome.
We should add that to our bucket list, even if we don't ever go there, Steve.
I totally agree.
Yeah. I mean, we may know a guy. Can we just fly up there and go fishing with you, John?
There you go.
We could probably
that was a no.
You see
that was a maybe. That was a maybe.
Hesitation.
We can figure something out.
That was a no, I didn't want to be that cool a friend.
Well, see, I'm 2.5 hours away from a good spot in the St. Lawrence.
Okay.
I'm 5.
Yeah, that's not much.
No,
that's not bad.
I'm 5 from Champlain, an hour from Oneida, and 15 minutes from Cayuga.
Cayuga's nice.
You're 15 minutes from Cayuga?
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
How about a all-three trip?
What's that?
Sounds like a plan.
Do all 3 lakes.
Well, you could do a weekend tour or all week.
Yeah.
Do a week
Well,
tour,
if we're coming that far, we're not asking you to take us fishing for an hour.
I think John is trying to figure: should I get permission or ask for forgiveness? Which one is it?
Right.
I don't know yet.
Oh.
No, Ron the Pitts has a very good point here. If you do the St. Lawrence River, you have to have Barb Elliott come do a fizzing class.
Absolutely.
New York State has gone crazy with their tournament scene, where you have to show you have to fill out a form and certain statistics, and it's pretty close to a first come first served per body of water for tournaments. And they treasure the fishery so much,
Yep.
And I'm not going to say one circuit over another is not really helped the issue, but there's been a lot of dead fish in some of the trails up here.
That sucks.
So yes,
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you're talking 5-6 pound smallmouth.
Yeah. We can't stand losing fish. We're pretty lucky that on average it's only probably like 1%.
Yeah,
there's that one tournament every year. Never can figure it out. It's always after the spawn.
Yep.
It's like the first warm couple days that really heat up after the spawn. There's something to do with that couple days. I remember one of the first times we ran into it. It was actually on Bull Shoals. And me and Steve looked at each other, was like, do we need to be worried about cheating here with dead fish? Like, this is really weird. People were bringing him into us that way. And we just kind of learned that there's a magic temperature post spawn. It's only for a few days where the fish, I think, are just exhausted.
Yeah, they're stressed. They're stressed from the spawn.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they're stressed from the spawn. They're they just went through all that, and then you caught them, and then you threw them in a box. Then you rode around with them all day.
Yep.
I think it's just something to do with that.
Yeah.
So I want to try to avoid post spawn as much as possible, immediate post spawn as much as possible.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep.
And I'll hit it. Barb Elliott, her class is the elites made it mandatory for all their anglers this year to go to get a fizz class from her.
Does anybody have her contact information that's watching, or you guys? I mean, I would love to.
John's got it. John's got it.
Let's get in contact with her. I wouldn't mind making sure her costs were covered and do something like that for the ladies. I mean, Kiwi would probably make the most sense this year.
Yep.
I'd like to see it done for both sides.
Yep.
Oh yeah, of course. But I just meant like
doing a class on fizzing. Those fish should be fizzed before they come to the weigh station.
Yes. And she does have a website now.
Mm-hmm.
She does have her video is up on YouTube.
Yep, I've watched her video a bunch of times. That's how I learned to fizz, honestly. But just seeing it in person really helps people.
Absolutely.
It is. Letting them go out and actually do it makes a big difference.
So that'd be a fun class. We were all about doing some education for sure.
And Trisha Payne McGraw says, I don't know where you'd get these bags from, but she says you all need insulated fish her weigh bags.
We actually need to place the order. So I did a survey. All the ladies picked what color they want, and then I was going to put together the entire order because we need bags. That's one thing. We started the year with like 24 bags, and somehow by the end of the classic, we were down to 9. And I'm just like, weird.
Wow.
Well, I mean, but we run a lot of tournaments. Like I think me and Steve are on the road. I think me and Steve are on the road for over 100 days this year between all the tournaments. So
wow,
nice.
Yeah,
not too bad.
Yeah.
Not to mention the poker tour and stuff like that. So you're never home.
Where do you sleep?
Airplane.
Oh, okay.
My wife can hear you in the other room.
And Trish is right with her comment here. I have the Ohio River size bag.
That's self-explanatory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't use that bag up here. But,
That'd be a one fish bag.
Yes, I'd still be afraid. Rob and I talked. I don't know, probably halfway through the year, and we both thought it was unfair how you know how we had the winners show after the event.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're gonna actually that Monday and Tuesday. The Monday is going to be for the boater, and the Tuesday is going to be for the co-angler. Give them their own, give each of them their own show.
Absolutely,
that's great.
Okay, so that'll get a little bit more recognition as well.
That's great. One thing me and Steve were talking about, some of the sponsors and stuff like that want to know like how many total impressions that everybody's getting.
Okay.
So this would be back end stuff, may not be stuff you want to talk on here, right? But it'd be nice to like maybe get some stats from the women's show, because that's something that they're really looking at hard, right? We're talking to these sponsors in the off season. They're like, hey, most things we sponsor, get X million of views or X number of unique impressions and stuff. And it's like, I got 2 emails today alone that people that want to sponsor the LBAA. So I think the more stats we have and the more data, because we want to make it make sense. We don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to sell somebody a sponsorship that doesn't benefit them.
Correct.
Yeah.
We don't want to just take money, and that's one thing about sponsorship. So if you're listening to the show, we're doing a sponsorship revenue split. So we've noticed that the ladies are having a little bit of time getting sponsored, a little bit harder time to get sponsored, which baffles me because they're the ones that actually talk on stage. They're the ones that are actually taking fish pictures. Not to say that guys don't deserve to be sponsored because it's an expensive sport, but these ladies deserve it.
Oh,
They're putting in the effort and putting in the show on the stage and talking about their sponsors. And so we are doing a revenue share split. So as a company, if you want to sponsor LBAA, you either get to pick a lady, or if one of the anglers brings us a sponsor, they get to keep that 20% for themselves. So 20% of the sponsorship goes to an angler. 40% is going to go to the angler's prize pool. So that way we can grow the prize, because that's the biggest problem right now, in my opinion, is the prize pools were way too low.
Yep.
They're starting to grow. We paid back 100% this year, 80% at every tournament, and 20% for the classic. But 100% of the proceeds went back. We also took all kinds of added bonuses. Right, we had 500 for the Rising Star. We had from Highway 125 Marina, and then we had Joey Ridgel's Big Bass, which was 500 on the pro side, 250 on the co side. That was per tournament too. So that's $750 on top of the 100% prize pool that we paid back. And then there was Clutch Eco money. There was the Toyota bonus bucks money, which that's worth quite a bit of money.
Oh yeah.
What else was there, Steve? I know I'm dropping a ball. I didn't take notes on all of our sponsors. We obviously had Mercury as well, just in case.
Yep.
We need to get
Did
some
you
lady a
mention
motor or
Gary?
whatever.
BK
I feel like I'm
Ranch and
forgetting.
Gary Yamamoto.
Oh yeah, Gary Yamamoto has been a lifelong sponsor of the LBAA. Him and Bev. Bev unfortunately passed away last year. Would like to have let her see where we were going with LBA. I think she would have been happy about it. But they've been lifelong sponsors, and then he has the Inn at BK Ranch there at Palestine and Lake Fork. So hopefully someday we can get a little fun deal down there on his private water, as well as a classic again near him. So they are huge sponsors. We wouldn't be able to honestly probably do it without Gary's help this year alone, for sure. I mean, we were just a few guys taking over a tour and had no clue what we were getting into. So Baitworks is another huge help. They rewrapped the trailer. They rewrapped the trailer, gave $100 to the pro, $100 to the co for the biggest bag of the tournament. Clutch Swim Bait Company gave a Clutch Eco on both sides.
Wow.
Which those are hard to get to begin with. So
absolutely.
That a lot of little extra stuff like that. Vicky's Threadworks, $50 for the smallest bass of the tournament. I mean, You wouldn't think that was a big deal. Talked to Terry Bittner on day 3 of the Classic when she weighed in 3 to make sure she had the smallest one. She was going to make sure she got her $50 to at least drive home with some gas money.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we have a guy up on one of the smaller lakes, and for our club tournaments, they donate $50 for the smallest legal smallmouth.
Yep.
On a tough day, it helps. I've been there.
We got a lot of ideas. I mean, I had an insurance company reach out to me today. She's a female owner, insurance company. I got an idea. I haven't even talked to her about it yet. She's going to call me sometime this week, but like having some kind of contingency money for if you highest placing person that uses her insurance company. It's got to make sense for her. It's got to make sense for her, and it's got to be legal. I might be overstepping my boundaries there. I know insurance and realtors or real estate have weird rules when it comes to like bonuses and paying people. So we might not be able to do that. That was just an idea I had rolled through my head. We did have contingency money for bassboatwired.com this year as well. I don't know if any ladies took advantage of that or not. I think Pam Horn might have, because I know she plugs Bass Boat Wired a lot. Absolutely. Oh, I feel like I'm missing somebody, Steve. Oh, Brazalo Custom Lures we had this year too. They had contingency money, highest placing finisher that had bought Brazalo in the last 90 days.
Wow.
Yeah, but I don't know if anybody took advantage of that or not. So,
Linda Gesser says smallest fish got more than AOI.
Not true, Linda. You're getting your entry fees paid for the entire next season.
And that's
so.
one thing.
Let's talk about this because this is exactly where I messed up. So taking over a tour in October. This is something that really needs to be talked about. Taking over a tour in October, I was so overwhelmed with trying to figure out sponsors, trying to figure out everything, right? I forgot to find a sponsor for Angler of the Year.
Oh. So
I had, this Rising Star. Craig found this Rising Star Award, and I found all this stuff, and I was like, I knew Linda was mad at me at the Classic. She was going through a lot that week, but I knew Linda was mad at me, and I was like, I messed up somewhere. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh my goodness, I didn't have an AOI deal. And normally the Angler of the Years have gotten to talk at the banquet, and we got a last minute push off from where we were supposed to have the banquet, and they had the wrong day plan, and the staff and everything was set up for the wrong day. And I just completely messed up. So Linda and Secret, I completely apologize. Yes, it was an afterthought because I completely messed up.
It happened.
And I own my mistakes, but their entire entry fees are paid for the next year. And going forward, they will be from now on. And I am personally going to sponsor that from my K-Guard Gutter Company. Because
now, is that Linda and Secret's entry fees or the Angler of the Year?
They both won Angler of the Year. Linda was the pro.
Yeah.
So Linda was the pro Angler of the Year, had a phenomenal season. And then Secret was the co-angler of the year, had a phenomenal season. So I apologize, Linda. Take this as my apology. I completely messed up. I've never felt so bad because honestly, Angler of the Year, no offense to the Classic winners, Angler of the Year is the hardest thing to win.
Oh yeah, consistency.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the hardest thing to win. I completely dropped the ball on it. And so I apologize. I've never been so distraught on why somebody was so, like I knew she was upset. Like I knew she had just gone through a lot, and but I knew she was upset with me, and I was like, where did I mess up? And I was like, oh my God, I forgot Angler of the Year. So I went up to talk to Secret after the tournament was over and was like, hey, what did you guys used to do for Angler of the Year? And Secret was like, well, she was like, you messed up. I was like, you didn't tell me. You know what I mean? I was like, man, we never talked about this after taking over the tour. I got 13 years worth of data from Cheryl. It was probably in somewhere of that 13 years worth of footage. So I've got, I don't know, what was it, 2 terabytes of information or something like that, Steve?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I had to go buy 2 terabyte hard drives or whatever when we were down at Bull Shoals and give them to Secret or Cheryl. That girl was organized when it came to data on the back end. And I know that I know that Angler of the Year information is in those files somewhere, but I'm not going to lie. I didn't open every single file. Cheryl had so many files that I did not open every single file. I would go digging for big bass records and stuff like that whenever I needed to look, but because I knew it's there.
Yeah.
And I completely dropped the ball. So again, I am sorry for dropping the ball, but we will not let it happen again.
And here we go. Trisha Payne with Fisher says Fisher is interested in linking up for contingency money for ladies wearing our gear. And yes, we can do LBAA jerseys with your consent. Yes,
we allow that. We want, well, actually, they have to have LBA logo on them per the rules. So that would be great, and I can get you the highest resolution file that we have.
Yeah, awesome.
All right.
We're also going to do a rollout in 2025 with a youth event during the LBAA. So we're working on that now and looking for sponsors for that. But we're going to try to get youth more involved as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, we haven't figured out all the details on that, but if you guys have some ideas, we're thinking, compensate the ladies that would want us that do stay the extra day to take some kids out the next day. 5 to 10 boats, just take some kids out and we'll figure out the details, but we're definitely looking for some ideas. But we think Kiwi is going to be too cold to do that, so we'll probably roll that out for Bainbridge / Seminole, and then probably Harris Chain and Caddo for sure. Talk to Craig about it for Bull Shoals. I don't know if we can pull very many people over at Bull Shoals. It's kind of a. We'll get you a little later in the year.
Yeah.
We completely understand, Linda. If you need to roll it forward to a future year, it's not like you have to use it all now. I just want to make sure you're taken care of because I dropped the ball. So we understand you got a lot of stuff going on, and like I said, me and Steve are there for if you need any help. So.
And Trisha says they're sponsoring Carly Joe and love to help the youth.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's we've always been all about the youth, and then now that we're involved with the ladies, I mean, it's even more important.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
Nope, other than Steve's cookie flavor.
There you go. What's your favorite homemade cookie, Steve?
Oh, chocolate chip.
Okay.
There we go. Can't go wrong.
I can sleep in my own bed tonight. I feel good now.
For tonight. For tonight, you're off to.
Yeah, for tonight. All right.
So I guess I do have one question for you guys. How do we help you guys more than we do with getting the ladies on? Like, what can we do? You guys did a lot for us to help give the ladies a platform. I feel like we need to return the favor to you guys in some way or another, other than just sharing the occasional post.
I don't know. I honestly never even thought about it. Our goal was just, helping you guys out, help the ladies out.
Yep.
Because we know that the ladies are fishing. There's more ladies fishing now than there have been.
Yep.
And we both believe they deserve the recognition.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And
honestly,
I believe the ladies don't. Only reason they don't have anyone fishing the upper echelon men's series is sheer numbers.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these ladies can catch them as good, if not better, than the men.
Oh yeah,
absolutely,
100%.
Pam, I believe, is talking about Trisha, saying that'd be awesome and cool. And Angela Breeze says, "Good night, fellas." All right. So
was that a hint that we've been on too long?
No,
oh, yeah.
no, must be her bedtime.
I'm not. That's my mother-in-law, and I'm not going to comment because I don't want to get beat up. No, thank you for watching, Ma. Appreciate it.
And I want to say, I was able to come down and take my son to watch you at Guntersville, and you guys did an awesome job. Everything went smooth. Y'all did a great job, and I know you worked your tails off, and it was hot. So
yes,
hats off to you.
We appreciate you coming down and checking it out.
Hopefully, I can do it again next year. I'm planning on it sometime. Hopefully, so I don't know what time, but I'll be at one of them at least.
Yep.
Rob, if I were you, I wouldn't set my goal on Gunnersville.
No, maybe not.
Well, we're not going there, so I hope not.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
We can always set the stage up for a live podcast out of one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Hey, there you go.
I think
That'd
that's
be
a great idea. If you guys wanted to come down to want to do a podcast,
Oh,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Absolutely, man. I'd love to.
I'm trying to work it out with Elvin so we can do the live stream through you guys for our network.
Okay, what if we did the night of the tournament podcast, day one leaders?
I like it. I like it.
Fold down the stage. I can get a little thing set up for them to do it, and then you guys can be at home doing it.
Sounds good.
I like it.
I kind of like that idea.
We'll figure some more stuff out.
All right.
Absolutely.
Like I said, and Rob has said all along, the women, they get. I just saw Linda Gessner's comment. They get more views than the men do on our shows, and it's not like it's not like Rob and I are interviewing each other all the time, So.
Absolutely. And Lynn, we keep pushing the button. Yeah, we keep pushing the button, so that's why it kind of blinks on and off.
Linda says need a good frog leg. And
thank you.
Take us out.
Hey, boy, you can't beat that.
I'm sure Linda would know, but wouldn't Bull Shoals be a good frogging time in May?
I thought Gunnersville would have been.
I don't think it was as good as it should have been. I'm sure Linda still caught him. She is a frogging machine. I need to go fishing with Linda to learn how to throw a frog better. Yeah,
here too.
I mean, I crush them with the frog on my home lake. I live on a little private fishery, and I never miss a frog fish on that lake, hardly ever. But I'd love to see Linda in action. That's one thing. That's like my ultimate goal is to get some kind of content on the water with all these ladies. I would love to get some kind of production crew to be able to do this someday. Because
absolutely,
I mean, there's a lot to learn from people like Robbie and Linda and all them that have been out in the sport for so long. Not to mention, Pam Martin and all them too. So,
absolutely.
I mean,
Trish,
if I had an unlimited budget, trust me, I'd be blowing some money.
Oh yeah, that's easy to do. Hey, I know.
I got an idea. You could hit Lake Erie in Michigan and then Lake Erie in New York. And that could be like a 2-week tournament, a back-to-back.
They might kill me on that one.
And Charlotte says Linda is truly good with the dang frog.
Yeah, her hookup ratio is unbelievable. I give her credit.
Yep.
Where she says hers is 90%, mine is 9.
On a good day.
Mine used to be real low like that. It's probably in the 80s now, but I would still love to watch Linda fish a frog.
Yes.
Absolutely.
She's got to be doing something a little different than the rest of us, that's for sure.
Hooking them.
Yep.
What'd she say, too far?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, she's talking about Erie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, guys?
Nope.
Steve?
I think that's good.
Oh, yeah.
We'll definitely talk off season, see what we can do to help you guys out more and figure something out. And we'll try to get you some of those backdoor numbers.
Awesome. I don't know if the ladies ever commented on the Northeast stuff, but if we ever did have a tournament on the Northeast, what would you want the prize pool to be? Post it in the comments later, and we'll go back and check it.
Or shoot us a message. So if you don't want your name to be met,
Yep.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate you being on the show, watching the show, all you ladies. It's been fun. Been a great year. Some of our best, all of our best shows have pretty much numbers wise have been with the women. So.
Oh yeah, I'd say top 5, top 10 is almost all our ladies on Mondays. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I can't catch them all live, but I definitely go back and watch them all on replay.
Awesome. Yeah. We appreciate it, guys.
We appreciate all you guys have done. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you next season for sure.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you guys. Thank you guys for all you do.
All right.
No problem.
you.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
All right, see you, man.
Where'd you go?
I don't know. I vanished again.
I got into the groove, you know. When
Oh,
you
yeah.
were on the road, I was into the groove.
Hey, our fingers are good anyway. That's all I say about that.
Yeah, my brain isn't, but my fingers are.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you getting your action back, man. You're you're twice as fast as me on that. So.
Well, maybe I'm twice as slow because I thought about it a minute before. But
We're on the same wavelength. That didn't work out too well. We gotta get. We'll get back into sync. We'll get back into sync, man.
yeah, I'm gonna figure something out. To help the ladies
Good.
out.
That's some good ideas, man. I mean, that'd be awesome. Some of the ideas that they had, and some that you had. I mean, that's.
Oh,
So we got.
You know, New York is a great fishery.
Yeah.
Fishing state, but unfortunately, it's just too darn far away from all those anglers.
Yeah, like I said, now all the paperwork and the red tape. I mean,
Hey, they may have to start having different divisions.
Yeah, maybe. Well, they keep growing like they are. It ain't gonna be long.
Yeah, they doubled in size over the year.
Yeah, I went to their biggest tournament, which is Guntersville, and they was shocked and surprised at that. So,
Yep.
So yeah, they're on the rise. They're on the rise. I think they're going the right direction. And I think they got a good plan, and they keep trying to tweak it, make it better and better. So hats off to them guys. I know they work hard and they put their heart and soul in it.
Yep. And we appreciate everyone watching, commenting, sharing our posts. You know, we do this for the fun of it, and that's pretty much it.
That's it.
Oh, I do got one more thing to say. Happy early birthday, sir.
Thank you. I'll be the big 56 tomorrow, and I can't believe I made it to 56, and I still have hair. So I'll just go with that.
Now, I'm not sure if you got that bikini yet or not.
Not yet. It may still be in the works, but I actually did talk to a couple that has a tackle shop that actually has Fisher. That was the first shop that carried Fisher products. And great, Mr. and Mrs. Akers, great couple, great store. And I know good friends with Tricia and Angie. And
Yep.
so, yep, great folks. I met some great folks tonight. So sorry I was a little delayed and a little dark in the car. So, hey, Travis, thank you, buddy. Yeah, I'm lucky and blessed for sure.
Yeah. Well, let me do a quick check for what we got next week.
I know Tuesday. My all-time favorite's gonna be on. So that's gonna be kind of my birthday gift, maybe.
All right. So next week we have Paige Tatum, then some guy Gary Haraguchi. I hear he's a pretty good guy, and then we have kayaking with Binya Outdoors, who's also has a streaming channel on American Angler Outdoors.
Yeah, Tricia, we talked about you and all good. So, but yeah, great couple. I talked to them quite a bit at our function tonight. So, good story. Great folks.
Awesome. All right. Well, everybody take care. Have a good night. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Rob, don't overindulge tomorrow.
I'll be at work, so don't worry. No day off. No day off for me, man. But no, I enjoy it. So I work with a great company and a great bunch of guys. So I'm blessed. And I got a good friend like you, man. I'm thankful I have a best friend like you, man. We'll if I was in a foxhole, I'll share a foxhole with you. So I'll put it that way.
Hey, I'd share one with you any day, buddy.
I hear you, man. Hey, well, thanks everybody tuning in, and tune in next week. We got another solid list of guests, and my good friend Gary Haraguchi. He's been a co-angler longer than I know, and he's probably won more money than anybody that's ever been a co-angler. So definitely he'll one of the best, greatest, this great guy you ever meet. Just always happy, always positive. So tune in. You'll learn a lot from Mr. Gary.
Yeah, and we won't compare stats between you and him.
No, I don't even know. Not even close.
All right, folks. Well, have a good night. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Hope all these people that are supposed to get the bad weather They survive. Keep helping out your neighbors.
Yep.
There's still a bunch of people who need a lot of things, and
Absolutely.
keep everybody in your prayers and thoughts.
Yep. And shout out to our boy Barkin Rugers. I know he's been helping a lot of people in North Carolina and Tennessee. So I know he hadn't been able to tune in much because he's kind of out in the boonies. But Mr. Barkin Rugers, my old buddy, good job, my friend. Thank you for all you do.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Peace.